Best bites forever.
Hey, what's up everyone? In this video, you're going to learn how to make the slow roasted turkey with fall spices and just a little bit of heat to it. Let's get started here with 16 cloves of garlic, and I'm also going to add some fennel into that, about 3 teaspoons, along with some cumin and cardamom. I'm going to be putting quite a few of fall flavors into here. I have some cinnamon and some coriander. It's going to give it a nice kind of warm Thanksgiving feel to it, but I also want to contrast that with a little bit of heat. So I'm going to be adding some red pepper flakes and cayenne. The other thing you see in there is ginger. Don't worry about trying to write all of this down right now because I am going to leave all of the ingredients down in the description. I'm also adding in some kosher salt. Do make sure it's kosher, not the regular table salt, and black pepper, along with some zest from 2 oranges. For the kosher salt, I like to use about a teaspoon per pound of turkey. That is a little bit of orange juice along with some apple cider vinegar. Those are going to help hold our marinade together. When we add in the olive oil, it's going to kind of emulsify, like it's going to pull everything together into one nice happy marinade so that we're not trying to like shake it up and stir it to keep it from separating. I also put a little bit of honey in there. The honey is going to help give a nice color to our turkey, and it's also going to add a little bit of sweetness, which contrasts nicely with the spiciness that we put in there. Here I'm just adding the rest of my olive oil and the rest of my honey. I did it half at a time because I wanted to make sure again that it comes together as one happy sauce instead of separating. It helps to do just a little bit of the oil at the beginning until it emulsifies. So here I have it nice and together. And also, a little side note, I was using the pulse so that the chunks in there would get, cut up as well. So here's my turkey, and the first thing that you need to do is make sure that the cavity is cleaned out. The first thing there that I pulled out was just a piece of ice because the turkey was previously frozen. This is the neck, obviously, which I have pulled out, and I just want to feel around in there and make sure that it's cleaned out other than that. Sometimes you'll find a little bag in there, but usually the bag is inside of the neck. So I'm going to lift up the neck skin here and pull out this bag, which is kind of like a little parchment bag, and it has some goodies in there for you. The first side of it has the liver from the turkey in it, and I'm just going to set that over to the side for now, and we will talk about it later on in the video. I also have the turkey's gizzard, which is what this is. And here is the heart. Sometimes they'll also have the neck in there, but usually it's going to be in the cavity. I'm going to take all of those pieces along with the neck, and I'm just going to put them in a container and put them in the refrigerator for now until I'm ready to make my gravy tomorrow, because I am going to let this marinate for like 8 to 10 hours. So one really important thing that you need to know about turkey is that the skin is too thick for the flavors to really penetrate into the meat. So you want to make a nice little pocket between the skin and the meat. So what I'm doing here is I've basically separated the skin from the meat with my fingers and pushed down to form a little pocket. Then I want to take a little bit of my marinade at a time, which I'm just going to move over here to make it a little more convenient for me. But I'm just going to take a little bit of that marinade and kind of put it down into the pocket and rub it around. Once I get that done, I'm going to add a little bit more, obviously, but I also want to do the other side of the breast. So again, I'm just going to make a little pocket over there, and I remove that little temperature thing because I don't really go by it. I like to use my own thermometer, and I also like to measure the temperature in the thigh of the turkey, which we will get back to later on. Once you do the top of both breasts, go ahead and flip turkey around and do the bottom. You're going to do the exact same thing and make a little pocket on each side and fill that pocket up with marinade and just kind of rub it around. When you're doing this, try to be careful and leave the skin attached in the middle. You can see the upper middle part, I'm kind of not messing around in there, and that's because while the turkey is roasting, the skin can kind of shrink up a little bit, and you don't want it to pull back too much because then it will expose the bottom part of the breast and it won't be pretty, and plus that can dry out. The next thing that I'm going to do is pour a little bit of that marinade directly into the cavity, and I'm rubbing this along the ribs on the inner part, like the back part of the breast. You want to get that nice and covered in your marinade, and then the rest of this we're just going to use to do the skin on the outside. Not only is this going to give the skin a really nice flavor, but it's also going to give it a really nice color because the honey in there is going to caramelize. I'm tucking back my wingtips like so, and only one of them I could do because the other one was broken off, but you want to tuck those back because those little tips will burn in the oven, so they need to be kind of protected back there. I'm going to use the rest of my marinade and just continue covering up turkey here. Make sure that you get all of his little crevices, like, close in between the thighs up against the body. The next thing that I'm going to do is cover him thoroughly with plastic wrap. So keep in mind that high heat shrinks down protein, which makes the moisture come out. That's why slow roasting is a really good choice for turkey, because it doesn't have a lot of fat to begin with. It also gives you a more even cooking from the outside to the inside, which is important on these larger pieces of meat. You can do it from 250 degrees up to 325 degrees Fahrenheit, and really the lower temperature is going to give you better results, but it just depends on how much time you have. If you're roasting at a very low temperature, you do not want to stuff your turkey because bacteria can grow. So to give you an idea of the amount of time that the turkey should take, a 20-pound turkey takes about 5 hours at 325 degrees. Do keep in mind that ovens can vary in temperature by up to 50 degrees. So this turkey has been in my refrigerator marinating, and you want it to be in there for at least 6 hours and up to 10 hours. Don't go over 10 hours because you don't want the meat to start to get soft. I'm just going to kind of reshape him here because he was on his breast. This is going to go into the oven on one side for the first hour, and then I'm going to switch sides for the next hour, and I'm going to finish it up with the breast up. For me, I cut my turkey up before I serve it, so it really doesn't matter like the shape as far as I put it on each side. But if you're going to serve the whole turkey at the table, you can roast it breast up the entire time. So turkey is in the oven, and we're going to go ahead and get the stock started for our gravy. So here I have the heart. Remember, we had that yesterday. Some people like to fry that up and eat it, but I like it to go into my gravy along with the neck and the gizzard. The liver is still in my little container over here, and again, some people like to fry that, and some people like to chop it up and add it to their stuffing. Feel free to do either, or feed it to your cat or something like that, whatever. So here I have some chicken stock, and I'm going to put 32 ounces, and then I want to bring this to a simmer on my stove for 2 to 3 hours. That's going to give it a really nice turkey flavor. Meanwhile, here's my turkey, and it's been in the oven, and I am going to baste it every 30 minutes. What I'm doing is spraying it with olive oil. You can also brush it with the oil of your choice, or you can use the juices. So if you're using one of the turkey baster sucker things, you want to be really careful to only get the fat. If you're getting juice in there too, like the liquid, that is going to keep your turkey from browning properly. So that's why I like to just use the olive oil. This is the beginning of my gravy, and my turkey is out of the oven and resting at this point. So I have half of a cup of butter and half of a cup of flour, and I'm just going to whisk those together, and I'm going to kind of cook it until the flour taste is out of there. So I also do want to mention that your turkey should reach 180 degrees at the thickest part of its thigh. That's how you know when it's done. So this is what my roux is going to look like, which is the combination of the butter and the flour. And again, you want to get it kind of a golden color. So these are the pan drippings with a combination of that stock that we made, and I'm just whisking it in a little bit at a time. You want to do just a little bit at a time, because if you try to put too much in there, that's how you end up with lumpy gravy. So just be patient with it. It only takes a couple of minutes anyway, and it should use about a total of 4 cups of liquid. Again, I do have my turkey back over here to the side just resting. That helps get the moisture back into the meat. You can tell that that gravy is done because it coats the spoon, and this is what my beautiful turkey looked like when I pulled it out of the oven and it's ready to serve. Hi again, everyone. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please give it a thumbs up or a like or whatever you want to call it. Also share it with all of your friends because sharing is caring. And if you're not already a subscriber, please go ahead and click on the subscribe button and be a subscriber now because you don't want to miss any of the upcoming awesomeness that's coming because it's awesomeness. And you can find me on my other social media, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, and bestbitesforever.com, which is my blog. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Happy cooking, everyone.
bestbitesforever.com